All right, so welcome anybody that's watching, that's going to be watching here. I'm still getting the stream set up slightly, but this is going to be a lesson, the third lesson of coffee hour. This one's going to be a discussion focused around how to set up your offer. So the first lesson we talked really about how to focus your mindset and your approach to the world, whether or not you're going for more of an influence or credibility side of things. And then this last one, we really focused on how to optimize your presence and outreach on social media. But we kind of have to backtrack first because you can't just have outreach. You can't just, when you're trying to sell something, right, you're not DMing people online, hey, want to join my free crypto trading community? No, that's not how it works because nobody's going to join if you don't actually have a good offer in place. What is worth their time to listen to you and to actually engage with you instead of just you telling them it's worth it? That's why the offers that we create are very strategic and they have a lot of value packed within. Anthony, obviously you are with the fitness side of things. So your offer is going to look different from my offer working as kind of a consultant for you guys. And there's multiple levels to this. This is why obviously it's great to have you on here and to speak with you on these things. You want to remind people of kind of what you do if anybody is listening that's new?
Yeah. So what I do is mainly, I do community admin work for the Ascend community, for the Build Your Network community, if anybody's watching from WAP, and then also for all the other offerings with, Make Money Online and the Ascend Agency one-on-one clients with one-on-one clients. And so that's kind of my main task is, I just manage the communities. I make sure our platform is, user friendly, easy to use, analyze feedback, check analytics weekly for, what's going on in our community. But then also on my own time, I'm working on developing my own personal brand for fitness to eventually become a fitness coach, whether that looks like, we have another commenter, Win Gaming, what's going on, man? But anyways, what that looks like, I haven't quite figured out, and this is going to be great. The discussion we're having today about figuring out your offer. But right now I'm kind of just trying to develop my content creation capabilities and skills. I'm making stuff that people want to look at. And then, because that's kind of like the whole point of social media nowadays, right? It's like pretty much every video you see, like even our meme pages, like somebody's selling something. So social media is the way people market nowadays. So in order to do well in marketing now, you got to be able to post content that people enjoy watching. So
do you want to talk about why, what kind of got you into the fitness side of things again?
Yeah, absolutely. Fitness has been, let me back up. My personality type is that I kind of focus on one thing for a very short amount of time before I have to switch it up. I don't really know why, but for the most part, fitness has been the only thing in my life the last like 8 years that I've actually been super passionate and disciplined in accomplishing my goals within. I know a lot about it through experience, also through not courses really, but classes I've taken in college. But mainly also just from experience and training my friends and my buddies, family members, providing plans for them to reach their goals. And then one day I kind of just had this idea that maybe I should try and, make something out of this other than just your friendly neighborhood. That's kind of cringe. Your friendly gym. Not you good, man. That's mad cringe. Anyways, I didn't know what else to say. Probably just like, hey, let's just take this knowledge and let's try and like turn it into something. You know what I mean? There's no harm in trying, at least. So now we're kind of in the stage, like I said, where I'm focused more on how to grow the brand and develop it rather than I am like the actual knowledge I have. Because like I said, 8 years experience. I mean, probably like six dedicated, committed. I like don't miss days. Like I don't even remember the last time I took off more than like 2 days at the gym. It's got to be years.
Is that good? Because like again, I've heard people say you need at least like 2 days off in between lifts because you really want like the growth to have full range of effects. But how does that? What's your opinion?
Yeah, let me change it down so I can move back a little more. I guess keep my flag. It 100% depends on the type of training you're enduring. So it also depends on your age and your, like your body composition, your diet, and your sleep schedule. So it's like one thing I don't really like about, I've kind of found out is a little difficult in the fitness field, particularly, which probably applies to everywhere. But it's like everybody is getting online and just telling you their opinion or like what worked for them, and they're conflating it with like actual fact or biological principles. And I'm like, no, somebody like we'll take for example let's say you're like an Olympic swimmer, something like that. Their training sessions like all day. Like if we'll talk Michael Phelps, like there was days in his prime where he was burning like 12,000 calories a day training, which is insane because the FDA's average person's consumption is like 2,000. So he's literally burning 6 times the amount as a normal person. And so if he's gonna be training and going nuts, like 2-3 times a day, because he's gonna be doing weights, he's gonna be doing swimming, obviously, and then probably some other kind of aerobic rather training, just to keep that cardio up if he doesn't always have access to, the Olympic pools, but because they travel a lot. So, I mean, he probably does something similar where it's like, 5 days on, 2 days off, or I don't really know exactly. I can't speak to exactly what he's doing, but somebody like that compared to somebody who's just kind of going to the gym on average would probably need a lot more rest and recovery in between their training sessions, right? I do 4 days on, 1 day off, just because of the style of training I have. I feel like if I'm going 6 days straight, I'm not really getting much out of those last 2 days because I'm just so tired. Muscles are still trying to recover while I'm destroying other muscles, and so by the time they just barely recovered, you're destroying them again. But I found that that's what works for me. But that's kind of what I do too. Is I analyze based off people's feedback. When I talk to them, I kind of investigate what's going on in their life, how they're living, their habits, and then I kind of give them recommendations based off that.
Awesome. And the reason I wanted to ask that is because that's going to be important as we get into this lesson, and we're about to get started here. So, how do you craft your offer? And the way your offer is set up is directly related to obviously the way you're going to follow through on that and the way you're going to coach, because that's who we're teaching, as well as like agency owners, I guess, as well, with the service that you're providing. So, it's really imperative to understand what's going to come on the backside of that instead of just what you're promising to give, just like what everyone else is doing. So let me pull up the note sheet for this lesson. I'm gonna share my screen here. I want to do this in a way where it actually looks good. Is YouTube's probably not gonna like it if we're in this 9:16 mode the whole time, but oh well, we do what we do. Let's share this. I want to get it in a way where you guys can see this here. So let's change it to this. I think you can see. Can you see that?
Yeah, it's not very centered, but yeah, you can kind of, if you want us to move to the right a little bit, maybe. I don't know if you can do that.
I don't know if I can do that, honestly. Let me, I think there's a way it's full width. Maybe that. Does that make it better?
Nah, it cuts off on the left now.
All right. Well, we're just gonna turn that off, and then I can.
You're gonna talk to it. Yeah, perfect, right there. Whatever you.
Boom. I'm like that. All right. So this lesson's gonna walk through and explain how we can take the service we're gonna offer. I did structure this with ChatGPT, but the notes and the content is all my own, just because I wanted it to be in better appearance. But I structured it around a 30-minute kind of interval. So given this is coffee hour, that gives us a little bit of time to procrastinate as we do here and talk about other stuff. So now that that is kind of introduced here, and you guys are here watching on YouTube and TikTok, whatever platform you are. If you stay tuned here, basically in the next 30 minutes, what you can expect is we're going to walk through and give you a few ways to set up yourself online that is going to be more attractive than the average industry bear, right? Like you are going to have a few different key provisions in the service that you're going to offer. And it's okay if you don't have a program yet, you're not a coach yet. This is going to show you how to set those things up to be able to find how you can help people in the best way possible, and package that into something that you can actually go out and sell to the world and make money. And it's crazy how little like you do need experience in whatever you're teaching, obviously, but how little experience in sales and business you need to really get this going. You just need a phone, ideally something like Instagram, maybe Twitter, X, I guess is what it's called now. TikTok, any apps you want to use. Facebook is a good one as well. But we're going to show you how this approach can be modified for those different things. So first I want to start out by talking about how we can define our offer. And before, kind of a bonus part, I would even say before this is we have to figure out who we are. Again, this is kind of like what you look at when you see your Instagram bio. And we talked about this last lesson. So you should know the Instagram bio should do 3 things, really. It's to say who you are, what you do, and how people can get started. This is kind of a similar modification to that, but obviously it's not just an Instagram bio. We're tailoring this to our business in general. So anytime you're going to list yourself, you need to make sure you cover these three things. Most importantly, honestly, out of all of these, you could say it's, how to take action, but I would say it's the first one, who you are, because somebody has to know, especially in this business, who they're getting coached by, because they might like, I'm trying to think of a good metaphor, right? I go to the store and look for eggs, right? And I know I want an egg, but I don't really care who it comes from. So when I'm shopping for the eggs, I'm going to look for different brands, which ones, maybe are cage free or like organic or something that's going to be healthier for me. And at the end of the day, the brand name that provides that is going to be whatever fits my needs best. But I don't go in like necessarily knowing who I want to go with. I go in knowing that I want assistance in this part of my life. I want this sort of like protein, right? This egg. And then I'm looking for the best supplier of that based on who aligns best with my values. So really establishing who you are is going to be a critical part to that. So first you want to say who you help. And again, if you're trying to build out your Instagram bio, this is going to be a really good way to do it. So your first sentence would be like, I help blank, for instance, achieve what result? And then primarily without what big obstacle. So I'm going to fill this in for you. I'm going to give you an example. I help single mothers with kids achieve a 6-pack abs without going to the gym 10 plus times a week. So that might, and again, you want the sentence that you use to be a little bit of, and I said this in my training, of an eyebrow raise moment. So like if somebody can read that sentence and understand kind of like what you're doing with your service, then it's going to kind of draw them in a little bit. You don't have to like push that. They're naturally going to be inclined to check out more. But if you're a little bit basic, like I help athletes train to do play sports. Like that's very basic, and it's not really showing the extra value you bring as a coach. So if you have something that you can show off your knowledge base in, like helping single mothers with kids be able to get their 6-pack abs, which is something they clearly want if they're looking at your profile, without having to go to the gym, because that taking time to go 10 times a week or whatever, or whatever it's going to be, like this crazy workout routine that they think they have to do to have this level of bodily function and like aesthetic is not the case. Obviously, like nobody's really going to the gym 10 times a week, but you can obviously make your promise a little bit more tailored, but time is obviously would be the biggest thing. So this all comes from knowing your audience. So I kind of want to make this interactive. I don't want to be lecturing the whole time. So I'm going to ask you, Anthony, and that's kind of why I want to give a fitness example. How do you think you could tailor your offer around that?
Tailor my offer. So we're still talking the sentence in the bio that's like your offer, like you telling what you do or what?
Yeah, this is going to be like what we do. Again, I kind of give that bonus tip about like who we are, but this is more getting into the offer side of things, not just the credibility. So, do you think you could label it your service right now in terms of this? Or if not, I want you to just try to do it.
Yeah. Well, I don't actually have a real service set up currently, but if I was to have one and we're getting close, it would be something like I help men become more capable, like physically capable or something like that. Become more capable without trying to think of the obstacles that deter men from trying that.
Okay, I think I know why this is going to be kind of problematic. It's we need to go backwards first to go forwards. So I'm going to show you something. I think this is a good way to explain it here. So I'm just going to choose a post here. So I'm going to walk through as if I was running an advertisement on Instagram. I really like this way of doing it. So let me see if it brings me to okay, I'm going to share this screen for a second with here. So I'm going through on Instagram, right? I don't really promote much on Instagram at the moment, but when I'm on Instagram, it's asking me to promote these 2 Instagram Reels posts, and it's asking me who I want to promote it to. So I have this WAP community of people that might, associate best with our free community. But let's say we want to create our own for Para's Fitness. I want you to kind of get this idea. This should be the bare minimum. I want you to go through and fill this out. So like locations, where would you want to advertise your fitness service?
The U.S.
And I like this because it's going to show you this. Your audience is now 159 million people. It's way too broad right now. So we need to tailor that a little bit more. What do you want the minimum age to be for people that could work with your program?
I'd say either 18 or like 20. Just a young guy.
Okay, let's see if 20 changes it much into a better range. Still went from I think what 180 to 150 to 170 to did that even shrink it that much? Oh no, it is now. It is now at this. Okay. And then audience suggestions. So, oh, we can actually tailor that. What would be you think the upper range of who you would train?
Probably like 40,
Okay.
to be honest.
So,
Maybe like 50. We'll say 50.
okay, so we're currently at 150 to 178, and that takes us to I don't think it's gonna update until we change the rest of these. And then interests. So give me a few keywords. This is gonna be the biggest part. What do you think would be a few interests that these people would have in their life, or certain types of pages they would follow, or people they would follow?
My first instinct is to say fitness, but I think that a lot of these people probably don't even realize this is a problem for them up until something kind of pops up. So maybe
Get deep. Okay. So like think about the like if fitness, and a lot of people don't go to this like second or third level thinking, but if fitness is an issue in their life, what other issues do they probably have as well? Because there's a lack of accountability there.
lack of accountability, lack of discipline, lack of knowledge, probably spend their time doing things that don't actually yield any results, like video games, or I don't know. Like it could easily just be that their life is just consumed by what they do for work, and they come home and that's it.
Good.
I'm just not sure how that translates to like what kind of content they follow.
And let's take it one level further. We know who you are, right? You're military. You have a good, strong background with discipline, right? So who would, somebody that's in their head, like, I want to get in shape. I've had this goal for so long. I want somebody that's just going to kick me in the ass, like somebody that has a military background. What do you think? What do you think that person's probably interested in some of the things that you have to offer, right? So let's maybe put like military as one of them, because that's just going to be one of the filters we use. So somebody that obviously likes the fact, because what you're going to do is you're going to market to them with the fact that you've been in the military, and that can be a great way to narrow it down. So these people might just like the military, and they like the fact that you're disciplined because of that. So you can use that message. So what other messages do you think you'd want to use when you're marketing, given what you have to offer?
Okay, something about like self-discipline or mastering yourself, mastering your mind.
Okay, let's try mindset. Let's try. These are more like object or like items on here than anything else. So it's hard on Instagram, but that's how we would categorize it with your offer. But let's see if we can pick a physical like topic. I guess it would be like
Well, you'd want something to do with lifting in there, like I mean that's the other thing, but like let's just say fitness in general. That's probably broad. Weight training, maybe.
okay. And then let's add one more. So like, who is somebody that you can relate to? Like as a what fitness influencer would you like to be? Like,
Oh, I don't really know. I kind of take things from everybody that I like.
just pick one, I guess, right now that you think you.
One that I think is so I don't know that I necessarily want to be an influencer like them, but one that I think is causing a lot of people to get in the scene is Sam Sulek.
I don't know if he comes up in terms of topics. Okay, let's do we don't want somebody influencer marketing. We want someone maybe bodybuilding.
Yeah, you could do that.
So that's a great audience size for promotions. So that means your audience is currently 39 million people across the US. And do you want men and women, or just men, you said?
Oh, just male.
Okay, so that's going to take it down to 16 to 19 million. That's a great range because it's specific enough, right? I don't know if I can draw, but you've taken that large ring of just the fitness market, and you've chunked it down to just men. You've chunked it down to just people that like that military kind of background, people that like bodybuilding in particular, instead of just like CrossFit or like aerobic training. And then you basically have a specific message now. So now anybody that's military, targets men, and does CrossFit is not going to apply to the people that your offer is going to apply to. Does that make sense? And that's not a disqualification. You're not limiting your reach. That's a big mistake people make. You actually now have an advantage. You just have, because there's 16 million people out there. And that's why I like doing this, to show you. There's almost up to 20 million people in the US that exactly fit those criteria. And they're all on this is on Facebook and Instagram. So these people have phones and are on this platform. And you're posting here. So there's 20 million people that you could potentially win over with your offer. So that is what I want to show you. Let's say you got a thousandth of the market, that would be, oh, that'd be 1.9 million, 190,000. That'd be 19,000 people, I think, or 1.9 thousand, or almost 2,000 people. I think it's 19,000 people. You got, yeah, 1%, but that would be that would be definitely, you couldn't, you like even if you got a tenth or hundredth of a percent, we're talking 1,900 people, or just 19 people, right? Or 190 people. 190 people, you still probably couldn't even coach. That's way too many to like one-on-one direct coach. You would have to get like a thousandth or a hundredth or whatever of a percent of this market, like barely even a noticeable sliver to be an overbooked calendar. So that's like that's what I want to show people. It's a lot easier than you think. And this is this specific market. We're not talking fitness. Like, you don't have to reach out into the fitness world. You have to reach out into the men between 18 and 50 who like, or 20 and 50 who like, the military, bodybuilding, all that stuff. So this is I like doing this to kind of, put this into your head. You don't need to just, don't make content that applies to everyone. But let's move forward in this. I think that was a good exercise. So what problem do you solve for them? So now we know who your target audience is a little bit better. First of all, let's go back through real quick, and I want you to be very specific now that we've kind of narrowed down that first sentence. I'm going to replace this right here. Can you tailor this any more than just men who want to achieve, more discipline?
We're talking like descriptive factors of certain men, like usually.
Yeah. You're not going to say this necessarily in your bio, but like you might use different words, but I want you to be very specific right now. Now that you have a better picture of what this person looks like.
Well, it'd probably be that I help young men.
What ages?
Oh, even more specific than that.
Yeah, I want you to like if I had no idea what you do. So if I was trying to see if you could help me, and if I met your criteria, I want to know what those are.
Okay. I help 20 to 30-year-old men. And then
I'm going to give you an example. I want you to tell me, like, listen to these two offers, and I want you to tell me which one you think would make you more confident in working with me. So like for me, right, I help agency owners achieve more income without having to take a lot of time. Or I help agency owners between 18 and 27 achieve a 2 to 3 times return on their income within this course of 12 months without having to invest an extra 5 to 10 hours on top of their busy schedule. Which one would make you more confident in what I could probably do?
the second one for sure.
Yeah, because it's specific. Otherwise it's like, you're selling magic beans, and it's like, okay, well, I don't know how these work. It could kill me, or it could do exactly what you say. So you get a little bit more clarity. So how can we do that for you in this case?
We'll say I help 20, I mean, the age is arbitrary. We'll say 20 to 28-year-old men lose or gain, because that's a struggle for a lot of people. I don't know if I want to tailor it necessarily to like promise that they're going to lose or gain a certain amount of weight, because my offer, I would like it to be more like, how do we get people to be think about fitness in a different way than just the way their body looks, but like actually you need to be fit as a man to be capable for like providing for the people around you, you know what I mean?
Awesome. I do like that. So how can we if we want to make it not about the weight, because that's a good point. Nobody's joining this for the weight gain or the weight loss. They're joining it to get their wife to look at them like in a sexual way, like that they have never looked at them before. They're getting them to go out with their boys to the bar and like, not get called the fat guy or whatever, like the chubby friend or whatever. They're doing it for these other things that aren't related to like gaining 5 or 10 pounds. Cause you can tell somebody that, and that doesn't really change your life and your mindset. Like, what result are they paying for with this? It's the confidence. It's the attention and the attraction you get, and the boosts, right? Your ego gets a little bit fun. So how can we categorize that in like a specific way?
Well, I love the word capable, like capability, dependability, like whether or not people can rely on you. So I don't know, it might sound a little bit harsh coming out saying like I help incapable men, you know what I mean? But
let's keep the who just specific to like those Instagram filters, categorizing it down to like basically a label of what this person, like single mothers with kids is pretty good, because that's very specific. I mean, and it doesn't have to mention their age or like location or anything. It can, but it just is something that like I have a label of who I am in my head, and I know where very easily whether or not that is me or not. And if you don't have one, you can use age. But like example, you could say I help ex-military men, um, or something like that, and I instantly know if that applies to me or not. Like something like that. I help single guys like get back in shape or whatever it's gonna be. Something that's gonna, again, you're gonna feel a little bit like you're cutting off your potential because you're not applying to everyone, but that's exactly what we want to start, because otherwise you're competing against everyone else.
Yeah.
So like,
Man, I don't know then. I still know how to classify the exact audience I'm trying to through just like age.
and that's exactly why we're doing this right now. But let's start backwards then. What's the biggest obstacle that you think people are gonna have that you can, like, your specific program that you're gonna have is going to do? Is it like you're gonna be able to teach it in a way where it makes more sense than everyone else? You're gonna do it in a way that's faster and that's more actionable. You're gonna do it in a way that you can provide more check-ins each week and give them more of your time, that you can do it, and you can hold them more accountable, because that's the point you want to sell at the end.
Uh, I would say that the biggest obstacles people might face working with me would be, and I think this goes for anybody doing fitness stuff, but time constraint. Also, like a struggle with what they eat in comparison to their results. It's like dieting, but then also that they don't really want to pay, an extensive amount of money for an extensive amount of time just so that some instructor can milk them out of the fact that they're in a desperate state. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the solutions then would be like without, like it respectively. So starting with the first one I said, without dedicating crazy amounts of hours. I don't even know an exact without dedicating 10 sessions per week, or without extremely strict diets, or without without the BS of like, oh, let me check in with you, and I'll only give you a certain amount of information this week, and then we're just gonna prolong it. So like without that hidden fluff, you know what I mean? Here's what you need to do, go do it yourself kind of thing. Here's how you accomplish, really. It's like I think that's more my style than just than the opposite, I guess, what I was talking about.
So basically, again, this is like, and again, this isn't meant to like show you that you don't have your shit figured out. It's essentially because everyone has to do this, and like I think that I actually would argue, some maybe even controversially, that the majority of coaches out there couldn't even fill this in adequately enough to satisfy what their offer is. They're just saying, well, I'm just like a fitness coach. And then you're wondering why half of people can't, stick with the business more than like 3 or 4 months before giving up. Well, it's because you're creating, like, this is a great golden nugget. What did we just do? We just created an advertisement on Instagram. That is because the exact things that we put in are exactly what Instagram's algorithm is already screening for. It's how they identify how your content's going to get pushed to certain people. So we know literally that that's the exact things they're measuring in terms of who your content's going to. So if you're not optimizing your message for each one of those categories you just filled in, then no wonder the Instagram algorithm is not pushing your shit out. Because like it's if you can't even explain it, how is Instagram's like AI or software supposed to know who your workout video is tailored to? So if you can find that out and work backwards and know, okay, this is what the algorithm's going to look for when they push my content out. Now let's go on the front end when we create the content and create it for those people. So again, it just having an idea of this, planting in your subconscious, when you write that video script or when you go to the gym, you're like, okay, well, if my audience is 18 to 30 for my primary offer, I'm going to use language that like, I'm not going to use very colloquial terms that like very like mature older adults are going to use. I'm going to use like more, relevant pop culture language that like these people our age can identify with. Like back in the day, it would be like saying like YOLO or whatever. And then like somebody that's 60 is going to be like, what the hell is that? And like, but somebody that's in that age group would be like, okay, that's a term that most people would use. So little things like that are how the algorithm picks it up. Or just in the video mentioning like, if you're this or this and repeating what this is, the Instagram algorithm will recognize that. And you're literally just hard programming it by saying these things in the video. So you can just I've seen people pick one with each time. So a lot of them pick the big obstacle. If you're short on time and you want to get, another workout in, then you can take 20 minutes a day before work and do this quick hit routine or something like that. And then just pick the big obstacle or the big result, right? If you want a six pack abs in 3 months without having to go to the gym, an extra 3 weeks out of, the year, then this is what you're going to do. So pick one of those points, but you have to know what that offer is to start. So again, you don't have to figure it all out right now. It's easier when you start building the program, but at the same time, you can do it either way. But I want you to just have a vague idea. You kind of filled those in with me already. So
Yep.
for now, at least, I don't think we need to get more specific. We'll keep pressing here. So
Yeah. I'll note quick, that got me thinking a lot deeper than I ever have about it. So if you're watching this and you're considering trying that out, give it a try, man.
I appreciate that. So next we're going to get into what problem do you solve? Because this is, again, all three of these questions are related. So this is why I'm not concerned. We'll go back to question one and you'll be able to have more clarity on it. But question two is, or prompt two, also kind of part of your Instagram bio. What do you solve? And it's kind of related to question one. A lot of people get these confused, but they're actually two separate questions. Like, what do you help people do is different, and who from, like, what are you solving? What is so the problem is like a subtopic of this. For instance, if you're a single mother with kids trying to get a six-pack abs in 3 months or whatever without going to the gym an extra 5 times a week, then their biggest pain point is usually what around this big obstacle. So, right, for me in this specific consulting business, I'm looking for people that are saying, I can't get leads. I don't know how to grow. I filled in those examples. A lot of those are the biggest ones I hear with coaches. And a lot of you guys will also say, I don't know how to make content for my audience. That's another big one I can throw on there. But without big obstacles, like the single mother with kids, their biggest obstacles, like, I don't know how to find time to get to the gym. I have to go pick up my kids after work. I have to take them home. I have to make dinner for them. And I don't have time to like leave them. I can't find a babysitter. I don't know how I'm going to get to the gym and find this in. Okay, well, then my program is going to be tailored to an at-home exercise that you can do while you can still watch your kids. So if you have to get up from doing your planks and go, pull something out of their mouth, you could do that. So I want you to really get in the head space of what their life looks like. But what is their biggest problem? Their pain point is kind of your best question to ask. So what is the one sentence that the person that you just identified in that Instagram ad, breakdown is probably going to say when they, before they look at your profile, right? Before they know who you are, what is going to lead them to look for solutions like yours? So put yourself in a bucket right now of these are people with this problem that I identify with. And can you think of just one question? It doesn't have to be the biggest one, but just one to get us started.
A question or a statement like their
Statement. Yeah. Because we'll eventually sorry, it's addressing this question, but give me a statement. Like think of it like the whiny guy, right? That's like, yeah, like the beta male, right? That's like, I just can't. This is what's too hard. I can't do this because blank.
I can't. Well, the least specific one I could think of that just came out. I was like, I can't. Either I don't know where to start to like become physically better, or that's tough, dude. That's a lot tougher than it sounds to really put yourself in somebody else's shoes like that.
That's exactly why we're doing this. Like this takes a lot of thought. And if you just jump into it and you try to identify with 45-year-old men's thoughts versus 24-year-old men's thoughts that are maybe getting, like, again, I'll help you by giving you some more, like, helping you picture this more vividly. I don't know the answer to this either. I'm just giving you like what I would think would be the case. If you're targeting somebody that's 25, they just got out of college, maybe even grad school, they started working a job, they're probably pretty stressed about finding a job out in the market right now. Maybe like they're having trouble paying the bills. So like they have a little bit of money saved and maybe they're just getting in a better spot now, but they've been stressing out recently a lot. Like it's hard trying to survive out there, and they've maybe been stress eating a little bit. They don't like the fact that they haven't been paying attention to their fitness, and they know that this is something they need to do. And they liked how they looked maybe in high school or college, and they want to get back into that mindset of being like an athlete like they were, and they don't want to like slip into the like older age body yet. So they have this like fear of being like getting that dad bod stage early and like losing the aesthetic physique that they had. And so maybe there's like a little bit of fear in there, but there's also like a little bit of drive to say, hey, like I need to get this figured out, but I don't know how to do it. I have a really busy schedule. I have a new job. I don't know how I'm going to be able to get myself to go to the gym when I'm tired every day. And I don't know exactly what that looks like for me. So I need some more clarity. That's probably an example of who I'd think would be an ideal client um, of yours potentially. So what are you going to offer with your background and who you are as a person that could essentially bring them back into boot camp?
Yeah. Maybe I don't know where to start, or I don't know how to structure maybe I don't know how to get into a routine. Like I can't establish a routine, or even that I can't dedicate the time for this.
Yeah,
And that'd be where I come in and offer them structure, and I help them realize that it can fit into your schedule. It's not about having time, it's about making it.
awesome. I love the fact. So, like, I think with the military background too, some people want you to just be a hard ass. Like, that's what basic training was like. But at the same time, too, it wasn't just always people in basic training being a hard ass on us. It was also them giving us some empathy at different times too and saying, hey, like, we understand this is hard, but this is the reason why we're being hard on you. Like, this is part of this mission. This is part of this greater purpose. And like, you decided to take yourself up on this. So your marketing can reflect that and kind of reinstate those like military values that we both have ingrained in us. So giving them the appearance of like, hey, you know that a deep core value of yours is being healthy and like having a good frame. What are you working so hard for? You're like, you have all this, you're starting to make more money now, sure, but maybe you're like a single guy, right? Maybe you want to go out and like meet people, right? And like you don't feel confident in yourself anymore. So the fact that you're making more money now is great and you're paying off your student debt and all, but if you're not proud of who you are outside of work, like then what is your greater purpose there? We need to, if you know that this could be something that is an important change in your life, how are we going to make this happen for you? It's not about like, it's not about just saying we can't do it, and it's not necessarily your fault. Things get in the way, but we need to find a way to hold you accountable for this greater purpose, because we both can agree that this is something that's going to change your life if done right, but also not done right. So I think that's a good way to come at it, and saying like, hey, someone like me with my background knows more than somebody that went to, I'm not trying to throw shade, like Arizona State, right, online on discipline. And I would say that's a pretty generally true statement compared to like with somebody that has a military background. And so that's your unique value proposition. Now you have that statement, right? That you can differentiate yourself because of your credentials. And now you're starting to put value on yourself. Okay. So now I want you to, so that was kind of what I was saying, was transitioning us more toward the second part of it. How does your service solve this? Right. So somebody has time or a problem with like getting to the gym on time, and they want to hold themselves accountable, but they don't know. It's really hard, right? Like we have a shorter attention span than 8 seconds now, which is less than a goldfish's. And it's statistically getting worse and worse each year. So discipline is going to be one of the biggest selling points, because people know that that's something they should have. And that's how your service offers it. I give you a workout program compared to other people that I know you will stick with, because I have the means to hold you more accountable because of the background that I have. And I know exactly how we can, I have some measures that I can help you implement to do that. Like checking in again, think about the way you're trained, like what measures that you already have in place military wise in your background that have held you accountable.
Are you asking me that?
It's kind of rhetorical, but at the same time, I kind of am too. Like, I want you. It's a great thought experiment. Like, the military ties in the deeper value behind. It's not just like you're doing this because we have to get through day 17 of basic training. We're doing this because you wanted to be in the United States military. You wanted to serve this purpose, and it's about the people you're serving, the people you're defending. This is the greater value for you. Isn't necessarily protecting the country. It's about living the best life you can live. And you've clearly slipped up in some way. It takes a lot of pride to come in and admit that. But you're only gonna make sure that you serve that greater purpose by holding yourself accountable when there's no one else to do so. So when you work with me as opposed to other people, I'm going to focus on making sure that when we create a fitness plan, we're going to stick to it. And we're not going to just start it for 3 weeks and you're going to fall off. You will have accountability this whole time. And that is where you can then follow with a price tag, which would be the next section. And they know that this change will be a certain thing for them.
Yeah, I like that. That makes sense.
So yeah, you don't have to have like, the personal training certification and like the master's degree or anything. Like it can be as simple as something like that, because I would actually pay more for results that I knew would be hammered into me and have more consistency each week than somebody that has a higher education. It doesn't really matter what, processes or theories, versus like if you have a system that works, it doesn't have to be like, grad school level system. I just need a change, right? And if this change is more certain than a different change, I'm going to take the more certain route if I'm at a low point already. And that's a huge selling point. So again, you can do it based on like ROI, expertise, and urgency of the problem when you pick your price point. And I think in this case, you would be mainly pushing the ROI, because the ROI, right, is based on not only the value, like think monetarily, like a stock trade. You could make, let's say, $1,000 on this stock trade, but if there was a 50-50 chance, then really the value of it's only $500. If it was 80% certain that you were going to make $1,000, then the value would be about $800, if like the opportunity cost of it. So if you could guarantee 95% certainty, then the value, even if it's less than somebody that has more technical experience, is going to be higher, because you can deliver more certainly. Is that you get that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And again, that's such a big mistake that people get scared off because they'll see somebody else has this certification in their bio or this partnership, but it doesn't matter, because if they're not a good coach inherently, then there's no point in working with them. But again, I gave an example here that kind of relates to this offer again, just so you can see another example. I've already given you a few, but I help online coaches get 10 to 30 sales calls a month without paid ads using organic content strategies. And again, so just going through everything we talked about, no price was involved yet. That comes after. That's more of in the discussion, but you should know what the price is when you create the offer. But this is an eyebrow raise statement. 10 to 30 sales calls a month. If you're getting 0, then that is an eyebrow raise moment for you. Without paid ads is another eyebrow raise moment. Using organic content strategies is kind of giving them an indication of how they're doing it, versus just saying they're going to grow and not telling you how. It's very scammy sounding. Cool. Dang, that 5-minute time section that I had took almost the whole time. But this is exactly how deep we need to get. So I'm not really following these. I think I will go through this section, and then honestly we'll come back later and do the rest of this, because this could be a 2-parter. But do you have any? I want you to tell me now. I mean, this is more for you, but do you have any part of this that you think you need to double down on, or that isn't clear yet?
I mean, it seems clear to me, but double down definitely on like, I need to actually hammer out the answers to prompts 1 through 3. 3, not exactly worried about right now, is I don't have an actual product to sell. But even in just content creation, like what's the point of making videos for people that down the line you don't intend to sell to? So this is double down on. I think I would really, on my own time, I need to focus heavily on identifying the ideal clients further. And then I can use that to kind of refine my bio on Instagram.
And then we're gonna go into section 2, because a lot of times when people don't have the answers to section 1, I would kind of move on to this part, and then this will help you fill in the blanks, because this is going to be, you might know the answers to these a little bit better. Section 2 is how we build the offer. How do we structure it into the package, right? Like, if somebody's on your Shopify store, what is in their cart that they're checking out? What is the title of that item? And this is the Para 6-month coaching bundle. What does that look like? Like, if it's just a question mark right now with a price tag, who's going to buy that? So you need to make sure that when they go on your store, right, it could be an actual Shopify store, or it could just be a Zoom link that they're paying you to meet. Like, they should know exactly what the title and kind of description of that service is. That's why I like Calendly, because you have to put a title and description with the booking link. So you better know what exactly is going to go on that. But I want you to tell me, out of these 3 offers, so like a one-on-one, like what we're doing right now, face-to-face, where you're giving up time and meeting one person, a done for you service, which is going to be a little bit harder. This is more of like a marketing agency thing, where like someone sets up your meta campaigns and manages them for you. But in this case, for you, what it would look like would be like you give me all your problems, I go create a fitness plan for you, and then I give it to you, and then we have like maybe someone else track your accountability on it. I might do it still, but basically it's more of like, we're designing this for you and then kind of giving it back to you. Um,
Yeah.
and then, but you still got to do the work, obviously. And then hybrid is kind of a mix. So like we're creating the plan for you, and then we're additionally coaching you. And then we're doing the calls with it too. So it's kind of a whole ecosystem. I don't know which one you probably relate to the most.
I think originally, one-on-one, just because I think that might be the least barriers to entry for me. And it might be easier to, and then you kind of get testimonials out of your first few clients when, when the traffic isn't so high and it's a lot more manageable to do something like that. But I think down the line, the goal would eventually be to do a hybrid kind of thing.
And so, like I say in my offer too, like I'll help online coaches and agency owners, because what I'm mainly doing here is like if people don't know if you can take the same thing, right? You know what a marketing agency is. You go market to local businesses or online businesses. You run their Meta ads, their Instagram ads for them. They give you the budget, and then you keep some of that as like a service fee to run their ad platforms. That's you doing the whole service. With coaching, we're kind of naturally assuming that you're going to do this one-to-one model, and it's going to have a little bit of like, it's going to be somewhat hybrid, right? You're going to have some sort of like accountability or like platform where you can communicate with your coach and stuff. But this is more for people that know what they want to do, what industry. Like maybe I want to do Fortnite training, right? I keep using that example. And then maybe the done for you service is a complete course where you take the course and then you just can interact in the community and stuff. And I don't really have to talk to you that much, but I came up with all the content. And then the coaching is like, I meet with you, we play live, and I like assess your movements and stuff. And then the hybrid could be a mixture of both. I would say for like Ascend, actually, again, this is kind of what we offer. Like the one-on-one coaching is like the inner circle / agency stuff. Done for you is the agency in particular. And the hybrid is kind of a little bit of what you're getting here and like in the other communities as well. But it's just a very, very low price tag because it's in a group setting. But the agency actually is kind of the most this, because we do it for you, and you get to meet with us in the platform. But that's just, again, a thought exercise. So you're going to do online coaching. And then this is going to be the offer structure. This is going to be more, I think, sales call. What are you going to explain to them on the sales call? And you don't want to be wordy. You have an elevator pitch, 30 seconds. I want you to think of an example like this. In just 8 weeks, you'll have a fully booked calendar of sales calls with our organic content. And again, notice how they're doing that. It's not in 8 weeks, we will work with you and each week implement different steps to do this and this. It's not like what we will do, it's what the end vision is. And this is really important to going back to section 1. So first, what happens first? What's the next step? And then what is the final transformation? And so how that works, right? What happens first? We're going to meet with you. And again, this is going to lead to the example, but we're going to meet with you on Zoom, and we're going to then develop an action plan from that. We're going to develop a coaching structure to give you like the exact workouts you need to do for the next 8 weeks. And then finally, if with holding you accountable, you will be able to see, visible abs or visible weight loss within this amount of time. Do you think you can fill that in more specifically?
Yeah. Yeah, step 1, what would happen is, just like you said, I don't know if it'd be Zoom or if it doesn't really matter, but we'd have some sort of consultation. The next step is we create based off of your availability, your time frame, your budget, and by budget, I mean like for food kind of thing, not even for us. Your daily schedule. We develop some sort of program that fits your needs and that fits all of the determining factors for what you should be doing through me, or, down the line, one of our team members doing their accountability checks weekly with you. You should be able in, we say 3 months. And then the end goal for them would probably depend entirely on what their initial consultation stated. But overall, be a more capable man for the people around you.
Yeah. So what does that end vision look like? And I want you to describe it in terms of, again, for coaches, the end result that they want, right? It's not going to be, you're going to have a schedule to post more consistently, or you're going to have a more tailored Instagram bio and sales page. It's going to be, you're going to have a fully booked calendar. That's what they want. They want the calendar. They don't want they don't want what we're going to do to get them there. So, what does their dream day look like for this person we identified? Most of the time, it doesn't have to be a perfect example. What does a dream day look like for somebody that's going to work with you compared to where they're at now with the problems we identified that they're having in their life without accountability?
Yeah. It probably looks something like they're proud of their physique. They're proud of where they stand physically.
Okay, so like in just 8 weeks, you'll have a noticeable increase in attention or compliments from your friends and more attractive physique with our program and continued action plan or something like that from there or something like that. That's like an end result. I mean, it's obviously I just came up with it on the spot, but it's probably something like that. It's not going to be in 8 weeks. You'll have a 3.5% body fat reduction. Like, I don't know. Nobody's going to buy because of that. People are going to like what you have because of that, but nobody's going to want to buy unless that's what they're assured they're going to have. So with that said, let's see if we can go back a little bit more. And we're going to end this with you trying this one more time and seeing as much detail as you can give. This can be the longest run-on sentence ever, but I want you to just fill in with as much information as you can dump into here.
Absolutely. Okay. I think with some added clarity, I would say something like 20 to 30-year-old men achieve, or I help 20 to 30-year-old men achieve a physique they're proud of without, some crazy time constraints in the gym, without spending a crazy amount of money on some wild diet.
Think about for biggest obstacle, what is the most common thing that's happening in their lives? Maybe they're what like again, most coaches are using organic or they're using paid ads, right? And they're not using organic. So that you're saying without these, or like without wasting money on a gym membership or something like that. Like something that they're doing regularly that they don't necessarily want to be doing.
Maybe without wasting more time, like without wasting the time you have. And by that, I mean like, cause I could see a state somebody like this might be in is like, man, like I'm tired of being this way. I like to change it. And so when I say wasting time, I mean like in between moving from where they are now to achieving their actual end goal.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. And then what result? So what did you say was the result again?
Yeah, a physique or strength level they're proud of or they can rely on.
But what does that do for their life? Like what is that what do you think? Pick an example right now of something that is going to happen because of the physique.
Kind of depends on, what they got going on in their life. But my vision would be like can depend on them. You know what I mean? Their end goal is like I'm somebody that others rely on or that would be comfortable with me being responsible for them, kind of thing. So that would kind of, like I said, it depends on what they got going on in their life. But that would mainly fall under like people that are or men that are starting a family or have a family, and they're like, man, like I don't know how to care for these people. And fitness, I think, is like one of your pillars, your foundational blocks.
I'm gonna share what ChatGPT said, and I like some of these. I think you can maybe. So this would be like physical transformation, more like if you want to be more of a strength and performance guy. But I like more of these. Let's say get shredded for like a vacation or summer, right? Maybe if you're approaching summer, you could retailer that without extreme dieting. Maybe I don't really like as much of these because people that are already into fitness know what they are, but you're targeting people that are new that need a plan. You're not targeting people that are pro athletes that want to be more pro. So I would use language that's more common to people. So like fit into their dream clothes. Like go back from an extra large to a medium. Fit back into your jeans from 5 years ago. Something like that. That's gonna give them again like look good in your summer photos. If you take action now, then we can have a plan that by summer you're gonna be ready to go. But you need to take action now. And that's kind of a little bit of urgency in there. Maybe deadlift twice your body weight if you're more of that kind of guy. I would say run like if you were more cardio, run a faster 5K time. I would get a leaner face and jawline through sustainable fat loss. I would maybe increase daily energy levels and feel more focused is a good one. Build a bit, so you could say like increase your discipline and energy without medications or pills or whatever it's going to be. You can just pick and try different ones of these over time. Attract more attention from the opposite sex by looking more athletic. is a really, really big one. I like this category. It's societal and career-based goals. Improve confidence at work by feeling stronger. Get fit for an upcoming event. Prepare for a fitness test. Probably if you wanted to target just military, you could use that. I help, airmen or soldiers, prepare for their fitness tests, whatever it's going to be. Enhance your personal brand as a fitness creator by getting into top shape. If you're targeting other fitness creators, probably not a big one because I think a lot of fitness creators don't really want help from other fitness creators. Yeah, they kind of have their own style.
Yeah, my rule would be that I don't really want the offer to revolve around how they look and more like what are you capable of. So it have to be something like in those last two, either functional and longevity goals, or social and career based.
Yeah, so again, this is just something you can just spend some time on ChatGPT here, and then you can literally just put the same framework into it. Let's actually do that real quick, and then this will kind of be the end of this call. We'll wrap it up here just so we can get you a little bit more clarity. Where was my ChatGPT? Let's just stop this and then tailor it specifically as examples of this sentence. It should be programmed now. I help busy professionals get in shape without spending hours in the gym. Probably not specific enough here. I help men build an athletic, confident body without giving up their favorite foods. That's a specific enough thing, I think. I help maybe busy dads is a good one. Reclaim their fitness without missing time with their kids. I like it when it's not just men. Men is great, but we want to be a little bit more because that way that it's somewhat tailored to you. I help men, you could say in their 20s, get their dream body without feeling like they're too old to start. Or I guess in this case it would be like without feeling like they don't have time to start. That would be a great specific example.
I like 14.
I help guys who feel stuck transform their physique without guessing what works. That's a really good one because that's like implying that time is the problem without saying it, but it's targeting something else at the same time. You don't have to waste time. I will help you figure that out. But I don't know if you can write that down or take a picture or whatever. I help
Yeah, I'm typing it out right now.
kind of similar to 16. I help guys achieve their best shape ever without wasting time on ineffective workouts. I help men get fit and confident without being obsessed with fitness 24/7. That's kind of that's a counterpoint, but it's a good one. Like you're like, "Oh, we don't have to do this to make you a fitness bro. We just want you to get in shape. So let's just create a plan that isn't going to make fitness your whole life. Like if you don't have time for that. Because again, maybe it's the people watching you, if they're not into fitness, that could be a great selling point. Maybe you like video games. Maybe you want to play video games and still be jacked and not be a fitness bro. Like maybe your friend group is still like not necessarily working out all the time, but you just want to be in better shape. That's a good one. And again, obviously this one is great. Number 19 is really great. I help men stop feeling invisible. A lot of men feel invisible and lonely, I would say, and start standing out without relying on external validation. That one's a crazy point, but that one would work too. Just for a different time. Again, think about so you can keep going further, tailor it to 20 to let's say 35-year-old men in the US that like bodybuilding. What else did we say? Maybe follow Sam Sulek, like military level discipline. We'll just see what it says there and we can take it one step further. Obviously we're running a little over here, but I think this is a really good use for an extension of time because we're getting to the meat and potatoes of it. I help men build a thick, athletic physique without spending years trial and erroring workouts. I help serious lifters pack on muscle without wasting money on useless supplements. I help men build disciplined fitness routine without feeling lost or unmotivated. Maybe if you can narrow men into something more specific, that would be even better. But this is great. This is a great sentence for you. I help guys develop military level consistency without burning out.
Yeah, I like that too.
Or you can say fitness consistency, but they'll get that already because they know you're a fitness coach. It's your Instagram. I help young men structure their workouts like a soldier without complicating the process. I help lifters stay locked in on their goals without getting distracted by trends.
That's for you.
So any of these, I think, you can just tailor it even further from here, but strength and performance-based, destroying your joints, I'm looking more at the end than anything. Wasting months in a plateau, wrecking their recovery. So again, I would start when you look at these sentences, look at the back end, because that's what your offer is going to be matching. And then when you find one that matches your main selling point, which right now is going to be like discipline and accountability, then we can go in and like tailor the front end. So like discipline and accountability and like making sure that you can find time to get in. It's like this might be a good one without sacrificing their social life or eating like a rabbit, because people want to have that discipline without affecting their whole life, without letting fitness take over their entire life. But the first part I would tailor a little bit more. Wasting time on gimmicks. So really just fill in whatever one you want to try, but this would be a great way to do it. Oh, without relying on motivation alone. There you go. So that's discipline right there. Develop an unbeatable fitness mindset. And young men is pretty tailored too. That's probably specific enough to help Instagram users find you. But so yeah, I think this was a good lesson here, an example. Obviously, this was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, so we're going to stretch this across a couple different lessons. So we were right here. We're just getting into how to recreate content around it, and then it's just implementation from there. So we could split that along the next lesson. I think overall a pretty good discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. That's super helpful. I'll have to spend some time on my own playing with chat like that to get some of those developed.
But this isn't just something at the end of the day that goes in your Instagram bio. This is something that, like, you've written essays in college and high school where you have a thesis sentence and then you have like main paragraphs. This is the thesis sentence of your program. This is somebody who goes to the bottom of that paragraph, reads this bolded sentence, and they understand exactly what your entire thesis page or paper is about, that the program's going to back. And so it needs to be specific enough at your level to get started. And then when you hit Sam Sulek or Alex Eubanks like level, right, you can then tailor it to be more broad because you've already established yourself. You already have sales coming in. Right now, we're just taking a little bite, and then that's how you build. Most people try to go straight into the same market they're competing in, and they don't have any of the resources those guys have or sponsorships or anything like that. So it's very hard. You're almost asking you to fail essentially, because you know that you don't have any of the same resources, and you're trying to like brute force the same results. So I think this was a great like exercise. I would obviously encourage you to spend a little bit more time doing it, but I think you want to come back like next week and we can refocus on the content and implementation of it, like how to back that on the Instagram algorithm and YouTube and stuff. Because we'll then we can reference this video. We'll reference this next week, and I'll keep the same notes up, and then it should be easy to jump right back in.
That was great.
All right, so for everyone watching, this is going to go on YouTube, obviously. If you're in the free community, I'm going to end the live stream here. So thank you guys for watching that. We'll talk to you next time, and have a great day. And then for everyone on the social platforms, obviously, check out the profile, follow me on YouTube if you're watching this. Leave a subscribe and click the link below to join the free community. Again, we're dropping the new mindset course starting tomorrow, and it's a very expensive course I had to pay for, and it is tailored to give you actionable steps to get the mindset side right as a coach, so you can jump right into doing the same things we're doing here, even if it feels like we're on a different planet from you right now. So definitely check it out. We're here to help you. You can learn everything you need without having to pay much money at all, or maybe nothing, just from my YouTube and stuff. So really, all the action you need to take is just your time and setting yourself a period to focus in on this. And we really do hope that you can take the same actions and change your life in the same way. I'm going to end the stream here. Anthony, we'll chat for a minute afterwards, but thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.